Hey guys, it's Rich with another Stitch and Witch vlog. In this one I'm going to show you guys my witchy cabinet that is behind me. This is in my kitchen. I wanted to show this video last week, but the topic with the article and all that I reviewed, and if you didn't see that, you can go to last week's Stitch and Witch vlog. The questions that were posed in that article and from Angelo were weighing on my mind and, rattling around in my brain for, a considerable amount of time for something to be rattling around as far as questions being posed. So I wanted to get that video out there and share with you guys and see what you guys thought. And some of you have already come back with some phenomenal responses, and I do thank you guys for that. I always love seeing the comments. I don't always go on there and respond. I think I might have to do a mass response video to questions and comments and all that stuff again. So yeah, I have quite a few video responses or comments to catch up on. So yes, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the witchy closet, the witchy cabinet that is in my kitchen. So I do have to say that I apologize for the glare on my glasses because, well, I'm not toting out the lighting equipment and setting it all up in the kitchen just for one shot. I have done that in the past whenever my lighting equipment wasn't like behind my desk and everything, and now it would just be way too much of a hassle to do that. And I think that you guys can suffer along with me on one video dealing with the glare a little bit on my glasses here and there. So I do apologize for the lighting in here. I'm hoping to get some of those sticky lights that you can push. I have them already, I just need to get batteries for them, procrastination and whatnot. But I do have the lights, I just need to get the batteries and stick them on the wall so I can actually light up inside of here. But for the most part, I can find what I need with the kitchen light, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, I'm going to start at the very top, and I'm going to bring you guys closer to see it. But I'm going to start at the very top and go to the bottom. On the floor here is like the dog food, cat food, stuff like that. So nothing really on the very, very bottom that you guys really would care to see. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring you guys on in. Okay, so up here I have a basket that has candles and funeral stuff for whenever I do funeral rites for people who have recently passed away. I do keep that all together now. I hadn't in the past, but now that I have a little basket for them, it makes it all the better. I do like having everything contained in one simple little area. So a nice little basket, seeing that I don't use it that often, and hopefully I won't ever have to use it too terribly often. 2014 was probably the biggest year that I've used these, so yeah. Hopefully I don't have another year like that. Here I have two silver-plated, these are Reed and Barton chalices, wine goblets, or they might be water goblets, I don't know. But I think I might actually sell these since I've never used them in ritual, and they actually should probably sell for about, I'd say 20 bucks a piece. I'd have to check the prices on them again, but yeah, I got these in a clean out, and I just haven't used them in ritual. I don't know if I really want to use them in ritual. I'm still on the fence about it, so they're sitting up there until I know for sure whether or not I want to use them. Reed and Barton is a nice company for silver plate and whatnot, so I would rather have the money if I'm not going to use them in ritual. This is a bottle that a friend of mine had etched for me, and I want to use this kind of as a protection bottle, sort of like the witch's bottle, except not with urine and blood and glass and burying it and all that other stuff. So kind of the same concept as a witch's bottle, but different. Using it more as a type of protection. So I don't know if I like that it's green for protection. Not sure how I feel about that. But I do like the bottle, and I love having the triquetra on it. So maybe a money thing. I'm having ideas now. So always good to have ideas. And up here I have a guardian angel candle that I got at Goodwill. Little side note, as you guys can only like see my eyes. Little side note, if you guys go to Goodwill and all that, usually you can find some candles, or at least you used to be able to find some candles like these jar candles or the pillar candles and stuff like that. You used to be able to find them relatively cheap at Goodwill. I know their prices have gone up in the recent times, but even yard sales or flea markets, you can still find candles relatively cheap. So instead of going to a metaphysical store and necessarily buying a whole bunch of pillar candles, you can usually find them cheaper and just as well, and sometimes even unscented. So yeah, keep that in mind whenever you're buying stuff. And of course, if I have them listed, I'd rather you buy from me, but you know what? It's not a big deal, and I'd rather you guys save money than, have to buy stuff through me just because you want to. Anyway, moving on. This I got at a flea market, and I don't know if I want to use it as like a scrying type of mirror, or for scrying with water, or if I want to use it as like a little spell tray. I don't know. But it has a place for a candle, a regular candlestick, and it sits like a nice little seashell, and it's really cool. I love it. I just have no clue how I want to use it. So if you guys have ideas, go ahead and leave comments. I'm always looking for more ideas. I think it would be wonderful to use in spell work or scrying. I just haven't used it, and I'm not sure how I want to use it. So yeah. And then we go over here, we have a little bat. This is from Party Light, a bat candle holder. I have a lot of candle holders. That's from Party Light. It actually has a chain that you can attach to it that you can hang it up. But I don't have it on its chain. So I use that sometimes around Samhain. And a bell that is reminiscent of a friend of mine. This actually has a whole bunch of sage in there. I bought a bulk ton of sage, and it's all sitting in there. And over here I have just some other odds and ends that aren't really that important right now. And then in here I have a set of dominoes. Now you can use dominoes in divination, and I've kind of tried it before, but I don't know how I feel about using dominoes in divination. I would like to try it again. And if you have an old set of dominoes, one thing that you can do is, if you're really ambitious, take down the front, or even just leave it, and write your runes on the back. An easy way to make runes. And on Futhark Fridays, towards the end of the series, I'm going to actually possibly take a set of dominoes and make them into my own runes, or show you how to make runes from scratch. So that's something that you can look forward to in the future with Futhark Friday. Over here I have a couple incense that I've made, and a tincture that I made. I have some older perfume bottles. These were left in my house in Jersey, and some of these I might sell, some of these I might keep. Here's one that I particularly like, and I hope you guys can see all this, but this one I particularly like. I think that one's just beautiful, and the only reason I wouldn't sell it is because it has a couple nicks on it. Like, you can't even notice it in the camera. Let's see if I can... Okay, right there. You notice that, and then if you look up here, there's a little chip in it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. If I move it around enough, it would. But right here, there we go. So right here, there's a chip. But otherwise, it's in really good condition. And it has a nice little space. This is probably just big enough for a little bit of a tincture. And it's just really cool, contemporary style. I love the style of it. So if you have old perfume bottles, you can always use those for little tinctures, oils, and whatnot. So keep that in mind whenever you're going flea marketing or yard selling, stuff like that, because you can find them, and sometimes you can find them for cheap, and sometimes these things are freaking expensive if you wish to sell them online. So always keep your eyes out. Moving on, I have a little box. This one I use pretty much, I don't have anything in it right now, but this one I've used for just holding like different things whenever I'm traveling. This actually might get used in a working sometime soon. I'm not sure. So possibly being used in a working. I like that it has the metal strapping on it. Very antique looking. Very much a witchy type of item. So let's set that there, and I'll bring this down. This one I'm going to do a bigger video on, or a full video on. This is like my new travel altar box, and it actually used to be one for a travel altar for a priest. So it's an older one. These sell for about 40-50 bucks if you find them online, but I got them in a clean out, so I think I got this in a clean out too. I get things in all kinds of clean outs. I find all kinds of stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'll do a longer video on this because I think I might actually want to refinish this as well, because it is so old and it's seen better days. So I might refurnish it by stripping it down and redoing everything to it. So something to look forward to in the future, especially. And if you would like to see that, do let me know by leaving a comment. Of course, comments are always welcome. These bowls, I got this one at a Ren Fair, and this one, you guessed it, I got in a clean out. So always fun whenever you do what I do of going out and basically cleaning out somebody's house. I do pay for the clean out, so everything that I find that I want to keep, I get to keep, and I make the profit on something else. You know, not everything that I find immediately goes out to sell. I get first dibs. So yeah, I do like my wooden bowls. I think I've mentioned it whenever I was in Korea. I did a video. I love little wooden bowls. I used to use them for stones whenever I was in Korea, but since I've gotten to the States, I've put my stones elsewhere, and they're doing their job in those areas, and I might share a little bit about that in the future. Now, what is a chemistry set doing in my, and it needs cleaned, in my witchy cabinet? Well, if you think of herbalism and whatnot, you're basically doing chemistry. You're putting things together to make a different compound. So whenever I found a chemistry set, you guessed it, in a clean out. Actually, I was helping my business partner clean stuff out, and we found it there. But I found test tubes, and I found funnels, and a whole bunch of these little like spoon deals or whatnot, little tongs, all that stuff that I can use if I want to make oils, if I want to make incense. I can split up my stuff, and I can add little bits at a time until I get the right mixture that I wish to have. So perfect for making small portions. And I also down here have beakers that I use for larger portions, dry ingredients, stuff like that. So, and wet ingredients. So yeah, I do. Or are these called beakers, or are they called I think these are called beakers. I'm not sure. I think these are beakers. If I remember high school science, I'm pretty sure those are called beakers. And I want to say this is a flask. And of course I have the little the glass mixers. So I think this is called a flask too. Haven't used this one yet, but excited to do so. But those are on the bottom, or towards the bottom shelf. So moving on from there, I have wooden spoons and mixing bowls and a wooden plate that I use. And ignore Jelly, she's playing with some paper and just having a ball. Um, but I have these that I specifically use only for magical workings, because if you don't know, and hopefully you do before you're mixing your magical and your food materials, there are some ingredients that you don't want to mix and use with food. So it's important, depending on what you're using in your magical working, that you know whether or not it can be ingested or not. So since I do have some stuff that is toxic to the human body, I wish to only keep those separate. I do the same. I have a mortar and pestle that I use specifically for kitchen work, and there's a couple mortar and pestles that I use specifically for magical work. So very important to do that, and very important to keep them separate. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but over here I have spoons, measuring spoons, and measuring cups that I use specifically for magical workings. Very important to keep those things separated depending on what you use in your mixtures. So always keep that in mind. Moving over here, I have some Florida water. I have some more candles. You're going to see a lot of candles in this video. So that's basically all that's over there. A little bit of incense and whatnot. Shelf number 3 from the top is all herbs from there and from there, and these need to go back up here. In this box, I have the little clear and muslin bags and whatnot, and those go in there. And let's set that aside for a second. And in this one, and I had these all done by Everlasting Mist. If you watch my New Jersey Ren Fair video where I did the interviews with a couple of the vendors, Everlasting Mist was the one that I got all these little boxes from, the ones with the triquetras, the one that, she's the one that got that bottle etched for me. I think her website is still up and running. I'd have to check, because I know that with her son and all that, a little bit of a break was in order for her. But in here I have all kinds of little bags, felt bags, leather bags, a Crown Royal bag, any little bag that I can use to carry any type of magical items that I need. So very nice to have a box to separate all of my bags. So set that up there. And that's all for shelf number 3. Mostly it's just herbs. So, and I am particular whenever it comes to herbs. I have to have them in like the same size container. You can get these at Walmart, and I just put little stickers on them. So there's burdock root. Yeah, see, I still have the tag on it. But these are fairly nice as far as the seal that it leaves on there. Some of them are a little bit harder to open than others, but they do their job fairly well. Let's see, these herbs have been in here for probably a couple years, because they've been in there since before I went to Korea, and since I've been in Korea and all that. And the chamomile still smells amazing, so it does keep your herbs fairly fresh. Yes, you know, some of the herbs are going to lose a little bit of scent, but these kept the scent on, at least for the chamomile, kept the scent fairly well. So I can't really argue against it. Ooh, even the copal. Anyway, moving on from those herbs, let's go ahead and go on to the 4th shelf down. Okay, now you're starting to get into the nether regions, and I'm going to have to kind of squat down here. Okay, so over here, first thing is I have, and this is probably not where it's going to live on this shelf, but I have all of my oils. And now that I think about it, and I should have done this whenever I was in Korea, is take all my oils with me, because I knew I couldn't do incense, but I could have done oils, and I should have taken them with me. Mental note, if I ever have to go again. Hopefully not. So I think I might stick those up on the 3rd shelf down. Anyway, all of these are candles, and the people that own this house they left these nice little shelves in some of the closets. So instead of using them in the other closets, I want to use them in here because it separates everything out nicely. So I have all of my little chime candles in here. I don't know why Rosemary is hanging out over there. I have an altar cloth over here. Sage, charcoal, bag of, I believe it's mostly quartz, but I think there's some citrine in here and whatnot. So, bag of stones, because you can never have enough. So, nice little bag of stones. And I don't know if you guys can see in here, but here I have, this is actually a bell from a Catholic church. I love this bell, and it is loud. And I'm going to do a little chime of it, and if it doesn't turn out being too distorted on camera, then I will keep it in there, but if not, then I will take it out. So here goes. But anyway, I got this at an auction for, I think it was 25 bucks, which is pretty much full price for these. If you buy them from like an auction or from eBay, you can definitely find them. They're about 25 bucks, which is well worth it if you go through an entire house and ring the bells. So very much worth it. This is a candle holder from Party Lights. Let's see, what do I have back here? My big, well, this is my medium size, I guess you would say, mortar and pestle that I got at, I believe it was New Jersey Pagan Pride. Yeah, I got this at New Jersey Pagan Pride. This one I bought, oh, I think I've had this for years. I think I bought this whenever I was in Kansas. So, yeah, I've had this one for a while. And of course, for those stubborn resins and woods, a coffee grinder that is used specifically for magical workings. So it's a magic coffee grinder. And let me go ahead and switch it around. And over here I have Vesta powder. And I haven't used it much, but I do have some workings that I really want to use that for. I have holy water over here and some empty jars. Over here I have health balls, because healthy balls are always something that we need. And I haven't really used these. I've had these for years, even before I started my practice, but every once in a while I'll take them out, I'll handle the balls, and I'll relax a little, and then I'll put them away for a good bit of time. So I might actually start using these in my practice a little bit more. I'm kind of feeling called to them now. So, yeah, I think I might. Over here I have different types of sand. These are, if you ever have weighted candlesticks, if you find a weighted candlestick that is broken, this is actually what's inside. It is all sand, and it's like kind of glittery sand that you can use easily for like a barrier whenever you're doing incense with charcoal discs. So really easy sand to get if you end up having weighted candlesticks that you find at yard sales, flea markets, whatever, that are partially broken. You can just poke a hole in the bottom and drain out all the sand, and then you have sand. Ta-da. Also, whenever you have weighted candlesticks that are sterling silver, this is also what's in those whenever it says weighted. So if you want to scrap out the silver and only get the contents of the silver, this is what you get with the weighted part. So, little tip, if you have weighted candlesticks and are about to throw them out, take the sand and save it, because you can always use it whenever you're doing charcoal disc incense. This is white sand, that like regular play sand, that was left in my garage. So, yeah, I am definitely putting this stuff to use. I'm using it all over the place. So There's a huge bag in there. I'm just taking little bits out at a time as I need it. So yeah, I have this in there in a Yankee candle jar, which again, found in a clean out. In here this is just a box I used to use for all my oils, but I don't anymore. And I think that pretty much ends out the 4th shelf down. So one more shelf to go, and then I'll just briefly show you guys the very bottom, because this is going to be a long video. Okay, so down here I have all the bagged herbs of stuff that either the jar is full, like here I have myrrh, I have dragon's blood, the whole dragon's blood. I love dragon's blood, so yes, love this stuff. I did get them from Mountain Rose Herbs, and I do like their quality. So yeah, I have a whole bunch here that just hasn't gotten into jars, either because it's too big for the jars, or because the jars already have so much in there that this is just the overflow. In here, I have a whole bunch of candles, both party lights and regular pillar candles. Some of these pillar candles, I actually gave the inspiration to the candle maker. It was a candle maker in New Jersey, and I hope she still does it. But I gave her the idea to start doing dragon's blood candles as a candle scent, and she started doing that, and it was one of her best sellers. So before I left New Jersey, I was sure to get some. So I still have those, and I'm kind of hesitant to burn them unless I know for a fact that I can get some more, because I love that I gave her the inspiration for it, and I do love the smell of it. So if I can find her number and get some more on order, then I will start using those on the regular basis. So I do love the Dragon's Blood candles. Other than that, mostly candles that I get at yard sales, thrift stores, flea markets, clean outs. I got candles everywhere from those places. So yeah, lots of them. Okay, over here I have the Psychic Circle, which I don't even know why I have this anymore. I tried to use it a few times, but didn't really work for me. I didn't really get the jazz out of it that I would get out of a Ouija board. And I don't even do Ouija as much anymore. But here I have a cross box. I've had this, oh geez, since probably high school. But it's a resin box with a Celtic cross on it, or a Celtic knotted cross, I should say. So I have that, and I think I might use that in a working. I have a couple workings happening in my brain right now that I want to go through. So, and like I said, I do have beakers, I have a flask, I have all those for doing incense. I have in here, and I am a collector of milk glass. I love, love, love milk glass. For one, it's cheap, and for two, I think it looks beautiful. So I have this little milk glass bud vase that I put the little, these are lighting sticks. And what you do is whenever you have a candle lit and you want to light another candle, you just take this wooden stick and you light the end of it and go to the next one, put it in some sand, and you're good. So I have some of these for whenever either I have a jar candle that's just a little too far down, or whenever I want to go from candle to candle during ritual. So I do have these for whenever I need them. And I will stick those back here. This is another thing that you can use for sand and whatnot. These are cruets, so you can buy these very cheaply. And these aren't milk glass, but they're ceramic. This one is for vinegar, and this one is for oil. And you can use these in ritual, you can use them for sand, you can use them for water, you can use them for wine. The list goes on and on. Anything that you pour, you can use these for. So, nice to use them in ritual, nice to use them as objects of holding and whatnot. So, yeah, nice things to have. This is a little bell that I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, but I love the way it looks. I think it just looks cool and it has a good sound. Hopefully that sound comes out okay on the video. And over here I just have a whole bunch of candle holders and a oil diffuser. And one thing I do want to say is this little thing right over here, which you guys can't see. But this is a nice little container that has an aluminum lid, but it sticks on there. I found this at Goodwill, I think. Either that or I got it in a clean out. I can't remember anymore. But this almost fits a chime candle just right. So what I'm going to use this for is a little spell container that you can put your incense, affirmations, working, whatever in there. And then whenever you want to light a candle to keep on feeding it, you just keep on putting a new candle on there. So nice little idea for if you have something kind of like this, or if you have anything that has like a lid that is fireproof. Make sure it's fireproof because you don't want to burn the house down. You know, to kind of do a jar spell type of deal without actually having a jar. So a nice little type of container that I can use for spell work. So that, I think, is about all that I have as far as witchy stuff in this closet. So let me get out of the closet, and I'll show you guys that down here, this is the dog food and cat food, and I don't have anything in that one. Actually, I think I might have some dog treats in that one. And over here I have some overflow from the other shelves. So yeah, that is my witchy cabinet. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I mean, I had fun showing you guys this. So I always like to see other people's areas that they have for storage, especially whenever it comes to their witchy items. I love seeing how people store things, how they get inventive with different items that they either find at yard sales, flea markets, whatnot. And I know that Thrifty Witch, you know, she does all of these haul videos and everything. I absolutely love them, even though I don't always get to comment on them. But I do love haul videos. I love seeing what people collect, whether it's a tarot collection, whether it's an herb collection, whether it's a stone collection, whatever you guys collect. I love seeing that stuff. I love seeing whenever people go to yard sales and they pick out, you know, something like this or like this, and they end up using it in their practice, or even test tubes. I mean, come on now. Who else uses test tubes in their witchy practice? I haven't seen any. Doesn't mean that there aren't any that are doing it, but I haven't seen anybody else using test tubes and beakers and whatnot in their witchy practice. But if you do, that's awesome, and I kind of want to know more. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and comment. If you guys are not subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe here, right here. So if you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't gone to Christo-Paganism.com, go ahead and go there. And yeah, if you have, you know, a storage area like this for all of your witchy items that you would like to share, go ahead and do a video response and leave the link in the comments so I can go and find it. Now, if your comment is marked as spam because of the link, I do go through my spam folder. I try to go through there about once a week or every so often. Go through there and either accept or deny links. So go ahead and leave those down there, and I'll go through my spam folder and go watch your videos and approve as needed. So anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.